Y bueno, ahora estoy aquí con este juego que se llama The Stanley Parable. Hasta que me dice estás jugando, lol. Eh, y es un juego algo extraño donde tienes que tomar diferentes decisiones conforme el anunciador te dice. Hay diferentes finales. No entiendo muy bien, pero what the fuck. Como ven esto, está capturando mi pantalla. ¿Pueden ver aquí el action? LOL. Hola, LOL se mira más aquí. Esto, LOL. Vamos a comenzar la partida y miremos qué tal nos va.
This is the story of a man named
Esta es la
Stanley.
historia de un hombre llamado Stanley. Aquí empieza otra vez.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Okay.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 422 and he pushed
Ese es
buttons on
Stanley.
the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor.
¿Por qué se mira petado?
Telling him what button
Da
to
jalones.
push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it a dull ending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this. And Stanley
El video me va algo trabado,
was
no sé
happy.
por qué. Y Stanley era feliz.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened.
Okay.
Something that would forever change Stanley.
Algo que nos
Something he
cambiaría
would
para
never
siempre.
quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi.
Hi.
Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation.
Esta completa
Something was
isolación.
very clearly wrong.
Algo claramente estaba mal,
Shocked,
impactado,
frozen
totalmente
solid,
sólido.
Stanley
se
found
hallaba
himself
capaz
unable to move
de
for the
moverse
longest
durante el
time.
más largo tiempo.
But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Que dice que me levanté.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision?
¿Qué
What
tal
if a
si hubiera
crucial
tenido que tomar
outcome
una
fell
decisión
under
que
his
sería
responsibility? He had
Nunca
never been
había
trained for
sido
that.
entrenado por eso.
No.
No.
This couldn't go anywhere except badly.
What the fuck?
The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself,
¿Qué debo
is
hacer
to
ahora? Stanley
wait.
pensó a sí
Nothing
mismo.
will hurt me.
Esperar nada más.
Nothing will break
Me
me.
lastimará nada, me
In here
romperá.
I can be
Aquí adentro
happy
puedo ser feliz por
forever.
siempre. Yo seré
I will be
feliz.
happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the
Ok, nos
answers would
quedamos
come.
encerrados aquí.
Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer.
What the
Now
fuck?
it's even closer. Here it comes.
¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? What the fuck? ¿Qué es esto? ¿LOL? Pues salgamos como me había dicho. Todo está cerrado.
When Stanley came to a
Cuando
set of
Stanley llegó a
two
un
open
sitio con dos
doors,
puertas
he entered the
abiertas,
door
entró a la
on his
puerta a
left.
su izquierda. Hay que hacerle caso, ¿no? What? ¿LOL? Empleado del año. LOL. No puedo abrir nada. Puedo agacharme, sí. Llegar a la sala de reuniones.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he
Esperando
might
poder
find
hallar
an
una
answer
respuesta
there.
ahí. Mucho, no entiendo qué dice aquí. Esos son los días, ¿no? Do not alter without consulting with board manager. Algo de no alterar, creo que dice. Ok, todo raro. Estadísticas. Todo el mundo es único. ¿Eres uno más de ellos? Chart sliders y chart and sliders. Ok. Se cerró, se cerró. Ah, lol. ¿Puedo ir por acá o por acá? Voy a entrar por acá.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Algo tiene que haber aquí. No te creo, anunciador. No, 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 no. Uy.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
No, no te haré caso. Sé que hay algo aquí.
It was baffling that Stanley was
Era
still
de
just
que
sitting
ni
in the
siquiera
broom
solo por
closet.
ahí en
He
el
wasn't
Mario
even
limpieza.
doing anything.
Ni siquiera estaba
At
haciendo
least if
nada.
there was something to
Al menos
interact
si
with,
hubiera
he'd
algo
be
con que
justified in some
estaría
way.
justificando
As
de
it
alguna
is,
otra forma.
he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Wow. El juego tiene muchas opciones de
Are
diálogo
you,
para lo que está
are you
haciendo.
really still in the broom closet?
Vean, vean.
Standing around doing nothing? Why?
No lo
Please
sé.
offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Seguiré aquí. A ver qué pasa.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Ok. Pues me voy.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
¿Qué pasa si me voy para abajo? No voy a hacer lo que diga el anunciador.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him?
¿Por qué no podía ver los pies?
These rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming! He yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons.
What?
I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid.
Exit.
So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
No, estoy flotando.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
No, qué juegazo.
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought.
Estoy en el mismo lugar,
And
no
while
puedo
he
salir de
thought it
aquí.
all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to
Luego hablar de
Stanley.
palabras era algo
After all,
importante para
he
Stanley.
knew for
Después de
certain,
todo,
beyond a
él sabía
doubt,
que
that this
seguro
was
sin
in
duda
fact a dream.
que esto
Did the
era
voice not
de
see
hecho
him
un
float and
sueño.
make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just...
What?
He would prove it.
Se
He would
descontroló,
prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the
La
blanket
presión
on
del
his skin,
colchón en su
the
espalda.
press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world
El aire
outside
fresco
this
de un
one.
mundo fuera de este. Déjame
Let
despertar.
me wake up,
Se dijo a
he
sí
thought to
mismo.
himself. I'm through with this dream.
Ya
I
tuve
wish it to be
suficiente sueño.
over.
Deseo que acabe.
Let me
Déjame
go back to
regresar
my
a mi
job.
trabajo.
Let me
Déjame
continue
continuar.
pushing the buttons.
Por favor,
Please.
esto es lo que
It's all I
quiero.
want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been.
What?
My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Okay.
I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up.
Oh,
My name
Lord.
is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I?
Oh,
And
mis
it
oídos,
went
güey.
black.
Y todo se puso oscuro. No puedo
This
interactuar
is the
con nada.
story of a woman named Mariella.
What the-
Mariella woke
¿Qué?
up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
No.
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would
What?
soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone
Todos
knows what
saben cómo
crazy
se
people
ve la
look like.
gente loca.
And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
Y recuerden,
It
chicos,
was
son
comforting to think
normales.
this,
Ja.
and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people
What the
whose
fuck?
impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body,
Nos morimos, ¿en
and then she
serio?
turned and ran.
Wow. Ese es un final de tantos que hay. Bueno. Voy a dejar aquí este video. Si quieren más, dejen su like y esas cosas. Porque de este video puedo sacar muchos. Hay muchos finales, según lo que he leído. Y nada, voy a dejar aquí este video. Y eso. Adiós.